Hi, welcome back. Yeah, it is time to start the part 4. Okay, so let's go. More terrible for Annie. I think I'll ask the new worker, Mr. Elaine, and his wife to tea on Wednesday, said Marilla one day. Oh, yes, please do, cried Annie excitedly. Mrs. Ellen is young and beautiful and has a very sweet smile, and I make a cake for tea. Say yes, Marilla. Marilla agreed, and for the next few days Anna planned what would put in her cake. I do hope it is going to be a good one, she told Diana. Sometimes I forgot to put in the right things. You made a very good one last week, said her friend. I'm sure it will be all right. On Wednesday, the tea party started very well. These are very good cakes, Miss Cuthbert, Mrs. Ellen said to Marilla. You have been busy. Anna made this cake especially for you, Mrs. Ellen, replied Marilla. Oh, well, I must try some, laughed the wakil's wife. But after the first mouthful, there was a very strange look on her face. Is anything wrong? Asked Marilla. She ate a piece of Anna's cake herself. Oh, Anna, what have you put in this cake? She cried. Is not it all right? Asked Anna, her face red. The tea party with Annie, Marilla, and Mrs. Ellen. All right. It is horrible. Don't try to eat any more, Mrs. Ellen. Anna, you put my medicine in this cake. Oh, I don't know. It was white and in a bottle. I thought it was milk, sobbed Anna. She ran upstairs and fell on her bed, crying loudly. But later that evening, when Mr. and Mrs. Ellen went home, Marilla came to talk her. Oh, Marilla, cried Anna, everybody in Avonlea will laugh at me for putting medicine in a cake. Marilla smiled and touched Anna's hot face. No, they won't, Anna. Mrs. Ellen was not angry, you know. She said it was very kind of you to make her a cake, and she's asked you to tea of her house. And she's asked you to tea at her house. Oh, so she's forgiven me. She's nice, isn't she? Said Anna thankfully. do you get into trouble like this? Perhaps I won't make any mistakes tomorrow. Marilla shook her head, still smiling. You will think of something, Anna. You're very good at making mistakes. Spring came with its bright green leaves and early flowers. On April evening, Marilla came home late after visiting friends. She found the kitchen empty and no sugar on the table. Where is Annie? She thought crossly. I told her to get the sugar ready. She hurried upstairs to Anna's room and found the girl sobbing on her bed. Don't look at me, Marilla, Anna cried. I know I'm bad. I know I am. What is the matter? Asked Marilla. Are you ill? Oh, Marilla, I just want to die. Look at my hair. And Marilla saw that Annie's long, thick, red hair was now a terrible dark green. Oh, Anna, she said, what have you done? What have you done now? I bought a bottle of something special from a man who came to the door. He said it would changing my hair from red to black. Oh, I know, it was stupid of me, but what shall I do? Annie and that land. They washed Annie's hair again and again, but it was still green. Annie stayed at home for a week, saw nobody, and washed her hair every day. But at the end of the week, Marilla said, I'm sorry, Annie. You will have to cut it all off. You can't go to school with green hair. Cutting Annie's hair. Annie had to gray. Perhaps this will teach me not to think about being beautiful, said Annie sadly. Everybody was surprised to see Annie with very short hair, but no one learned the secret, and some weeks later there were some new, darker red colors, which pleased Annie very much. That summer, Annie and her friends often played in an old boat on the river. Today, let's imagine that I'm a prisoner and I'm escaping from prison by boat, said Annie. You've had the boat and the river will carry in down to the bridge. You are my family and you must meet me at the bridge. The other girls agreed. So Annie got into the boat and hid under some quilts. Her friends pushed the boat off down the river and ran across the field to get round to the bridge. For a few minutes, the prisoner enjoyed the game. But then she suddenly felt wet and sat up. Water was coming in very fast through a hole in the bottom of the boat. Luckily, there were some trees by the river, and Anna saw a low branch over the water. She jumped up and grabbed the branch. The boat went on without her, and a few seconds later went down under the water. Her friends on the bridge saw the boat, but they did not see Anna under the tree. Oh, Anna's dead. The boat's gone down and she's in the river. They screamed and ran back to the village for help. Poor Anna could not move. She held on, but her arms were getting tired, and she knew that they would fall in a minute. Suddenly there was Gilbert's blood in his boat. Anna Shirley, he cried. What are you doing there? He did not wait for an answer, but quickly helped Anna. Anna off the tree. Into his boat. She did not say a word. When they arrived at the bridge, she got out and turned away. Thank you for helping me, she said coldly. But Gilbert jumped out and put a hand on her arm. Annie, he said quickly, I'm sorry. I called you carrots. It was a long time ago. I think your hair is really nice now. Can we forget it and be friends? For a second, Anna wanted to say yes, but then she remembered standing alone in front of the school children all afternoon because of Gilbert. She would never forgive him for that. No, she replied coldly. I shall never be your friend, Gilbert replied. All right. Gilbert jumped angrily back into her boat. I've never asked you again, Anna Shirley. Anna walked home with her head held high, but she felt strongly sad and wanted to cry. Why are you always in trouble, Annie? Asked Marilla. When she heard about Annie's adventure, well, I think I'm learning, Marilla, answered Annie. I learn from my mistakes, and after today I won't use my imagination so much. I do not think Avonlea is the right place for imagination. No, it is not, agreed Marilla a little crossly. When she went up, Matthew, who was sitting quietly in his corner, whispered to Annie, keep a little imagination, Annie. Not too much, of course, just a little. And we finished part 4.